Yo, what's up, chat? I'm about to watch this video. Obviously, this is what I'll be doing. About to do some homework. My clothes is drying. Well, in the washer. I went on my grandma's clothes to dry. I ran out of weed, so y'all know what that means. I'm done smoking. All that shit, I'm done. I know what that means. Pack up time. No more weed for me. Done smoking. Once I run out of weed, like for good, I'm done. So I'm about to do some cleaning around here right quick. And yo, we're gonna leave it at that. Hope y'all having a good night though. Well, most of y'all probably sleep right now, but still, yeah. You know, about to just clean up right quick and yeah, do some work. But yo.
Like you heard King, man. It's 11-year-old telling you, man. It's 11-year-old telling you, man. Man, you can't stop a hoe from being a hoe, man. Don't do that. And then you got your fans. They ain't no better. They ain't no better than you is. They ain't gonna even tell you, no, bro, this about a bitch. We ain't doing that. Finesse a player. Like, finesse. I'm a player, bro. If my bitch go, she gone. But she know when she come back, she better have me a whole lot of shit. She better have more than she left with when she come back. You see what I'm saying? That's what's going on, man. You literally, hold on, let me put my cup down. You literally got on the internet talking about a mama and talking about everything better be proof about a bitch, homie. About a bitch, homie. That's what you young niggas doing. You young niggas out here putting y'all life and y'all freedom on the line about women now.
Hold on, they say I got 2 chats and I'm only seeing one. Who else in the chat said something? If it come up, yo, what's up? I haven't seen it, I don't know. But yo, I say I got 2 chats. My shit say warning. See, look, I'm about to show y'all. See, my shit say 2 chats, but my shit say warning. I hate that shit because my Ethernet cable be tweaking, dude. I'm about to connect to the Wi-Fi though.
Never. It'll never be me. Like I said, at first, I thought it was maybe just some, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? You got other little shit going and shit and all type of shit in your mind and all. I never sat back and thought that, well, maybe it's about me liking his bitch picture on TikTok. I never sat back and thought that, homie. That's where all this shit come from. And then you hollering gangster this and gangster that. Gangsters don't beef about bitches, homie. Listen, homie. Listen, homie. You get one bitch, homie. This how it go around me and my bro. You get one bitch, homie. This how it go from Memphis, bro. When you from the city, bro. You get you one bitch, bro. You got you one. Everybody else, they game. They game. We ain't spurring them, bro. You got one. You gonna protect all your baby mamas? You gonna be tender about all your baby mamas? You want about a woman, bro? I don't want no beef, bro. I don't want no beef. You heard what your guy said, bro. Just know if it's about a bitch, I don't respect it, man. That come from your guy. That came from the king, man. You hear me? If it's about a bitch, we ain't respecting it. You want to, you bitch, you hoe, about a female, homie? Man, you up there smoking 1,000 cigarettes about this bitch, man. Man, when she gonna do what she gonna do anyway? Man, you done ran through a carton of Newports this morning with this bitch. When this bitch gonna do what she gonna do, homie? I wonder how many store runs you go on for cigarettes and shit, man. I wonder how many cigarettes you done smoke, man. Tell me how many cigarettes you done smoke behind beefing or wanting to beef or stressing about this woman, man. You got her, bro. She put up. She good. You good, bro. Like, she put up. Like, bro, I think she love you, bro. Like, I think she ain't going nowhere, bro. I think she love you, bro. I think that you got yourself a good wife, a good woman, good baby mamas. Like I think you good, bro. I think you secure, bro. You having money. You good, P. Like, you good. Keep it P though, bro. Like, all you gotta do is like, I see this shit all the time, bro. Like, Sugar always, my baby mama and them always hitting.
Stop stuffing sopping wet bags of ice into your cooler. I've got a brand new fridge on wheels that keeps your food ice cold.
Me up, talking about this, that nigga. And guess what they say right behind it? I'm trying to see what this hitting for. I'm trying to see what that gonna run me. I'm trying, man, yeah, man, cause get what? You see that, don't you? You see that hand? You see that hand out? I stand on it. I stand on it, homie. That my hand out for real, homie. I keep my hand out, homie.
Skippity what? I'm going to skippity your toilet. Well, alright, Jason. You skippity that toilet.
I got my hand out, homie. Yeah, I don't give a if I was up 20, 30 million. I got my hand out, homie. I got my hands out, but y'all don't come from that. You don't come from that. You don't know nothing about being no player, my. And they just did on that, bro. You know what I'm saying? I ain't finna be sitting on here currently going and back and forth with your young ass about no bitch. About no bitch that's gonna do what she gonna do. Rather, man, hey, man. Hey, man, it ain't the wheel that deal, man. It's the that cut. You hear me? Remember that, young. It's not the wheel that deal. It's the that cut. You understand? I can put you on some game. I tell you what. Put it together. I'm going to come on Grave Digger Mountain, and I'm going to give you this pimp shit 101. 101, I'm going to teach you how to be a player. I'm going to teach you how to be a player, young nigga. I'm going to teach you how to really finesse this shit and be a player, because you sitting up there about a... What the I want your bitch for anyway? Y'all got her. What the Come on, home. You tripping. Now I'm on your ass. Did what you wanted. Did what I'm gonna give you. Cause get what, home? I wasn't on that. And for all his fans who love him, y'all need to encourage that mind that, hey, all right, let's just say, okay, y'all saying he a gangster, he gonna smush something and all that old shit. Yeah, okay. So you gonna go do the rest of your life in jail behind a bitch. Why this nigga so stupid? You ready? So, and then y'all gonna sit on her and encourage him and make him feel like it's cool to about a female that's gonna do what she wanna do. And let me say this, I ain't knocking no women. Let me get that right. Like, I love all the women, especially black women. I ain't knocking no women. But what I'm saying is she gonna do what she gonna do, homie. Whether you like it or not, you ain't gonna be able to stop it, homie. So you telling me you got these girls locked up like R. Kelly? So you telling me they trapped in the basement? They trapped in the closet. You got all these hoes locked up. You got these hoes on Grave Digger Mountain with you, and they can't go to the store. Because that's all it take. That's all it take, homie. All you got to do is go to the store. At the store, I'm cutting bitches all at the bathroom. At the airport, that's all it takes for her to go see her mama. That's all it takes. And your bitch hit. You see what I'm saying? And that's why niggas like me, I f bitches for the free 99. Because I'm a player. And one thing about me, and one thing the difference between a player and a trick, a sucker, one thing about that woman, she know who real. She real. She know who real. She know in her heart, oh, this nigga, oh, this nigga spending all his money on me, doing whatever to keep me. Oh, this soft. So she gonna play you to the left. She gonna keep you. But guess what? She gonna come to me, cause guess what? She know I'm that thing. She know I'm that thing. She know she ain't gonna get nothing, probably a Whataburger meal out of me. You know what I'm saying? If she ain't bringing nothing to my table, I've been struggling all my life. I look like spending millions. You gonna have to add to this shit. We can do it. I ain't got no problem splurging on no female. I ain't got no problem giving no woman nothing. I ain't got no problem. But guess what though? Man, we gonna put it together. It gotta make sense. It ain't gonna go one way. It ain't gonna go one way. It ain't gonna go one way, man. We gonna do this shit together. And that's what's going on. So guess what? If you want to FaceTime Suge, like I said, I'm gonna send you my wire information in your DM. You send me $250. If you wanna do anything else, we ain't gonna talk on the internet about it. Open your messages up. Spend your money. Spend your money. Yeah. Get off live and get at him. I look like going to his mountains. How you sound, homie? I look like going way up there. I ain't finna
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Hey, but that's what's going on, man. 250, man. I'm talking about 250,000. Yeah, man. I know $250, man. Yeah, man. I do this shit for fun. It's not fun, man. You hear me? But like I said, man, at first I was all cool and collected about it because I ain't know what the young was on because I don't know. I thought you was a player. Ain't you the one said you slime enough to go you slime enough to bring a bag home, bitch? Ain't you the one said that? Ain't you the one said you slime enough to bring a bag home? Ain't you the one said that shit? You said now it's capping your raps, huh? I thought you was a player, homie. Hey, you go get you another carton of six, man. You know what I'm saying? And man, you know I'm in Houston, man, and I'm always outside. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I ain't trying about no bitch, bro. So I'm gonna go ahead and let it be known, man. I'm gonna go find the bitch TikTok, man. I'm gonna go unlike everything. I'm finna go unlike everything. I don't want no problem. I don't want it, bro. And if I do, I don't want to about no bitch, homie. It's over with. I ain't going out like that, homie. You can die. You can lose your life and your freedom about a bitch. I ain't finna do it, homie. I ain't doing it, homie. You can do it, especially about a bitch that's, man, hey, bro, you can do it, homie. Like I said, I'm finna go on TikTok, bro, and I'm finna unlike her pictures, bro, cause like I said, you know, man, my niggas like, that's how we play.
Say you done heard this bitch baggy blew out. Man, you toe up, man. Hey, then you gonna send a hoe to get some money. Boy, you uncivilized, you little puss ass bitch. You wanna be a real federal, you wanna be a fella now so bad. Man, you sound stupid as a bitch. bitch, man. That hoe all, man, tell that bitch come with a real money at, man. You hear me? I love you too, hey. Man, tell that bitch come with a real money at, man. You puss-ass, misleading, you misguiding ass nigga. Nah, I ain't cut, man, that nigga say he done heard his bitch baggy blew out. Man, you toe up, man. Hey, then you gonna send a hoe to get some money. Boy, you uncivilized, you little puss-ass bitch. You wanna be a real federal, you wanna be a fella now so bad. Man, you sound stupid as a bitch, man. That hoe all, man, tell that bitch come with a real money at, man. You hear me? I love you too, hey. Man, tell that bitch come with a real money at, man. You puss-ass, misleading, you misguiding ass nigga.
Nah, you sound like a bitch who I kicked out, nigga. I ain't trying to hear none of that mental health shit, boy. Hey, you know how that shit turned out, you puss-ass nigga. You wrote my hoe. I ain't tell you nothing, bitch. I told your hoe something. This bitch ass nigga wanna at me. Man, I ain't tell your bitch ass. I ain't tell your botched ass nigga when you play with my hoe, nigga. I just post your bitch. Keep that thing gangster. Then go back and play with my wife, man. That ain't no bitch. That ain't that bitch that you fake pimping, nigga. No, man. Alright. I don't want to talk. I ain't your friend. I ain't none of that, you pussy bitch. None of that. Bitch ass nigga writing me out on motivation ass quotes, then. Whole time your bitch ass trying to double back and slime something, man. You a hoe, man. I don't play like that, man. Man, hey, we real gangsters, man. Hey, and bitch, we so G'd around here, nigga. I politely ask my wife, man. I say, man, these three bitch ass niggas just double back and play with me like that. That's what she did. I don't take your bitch, nigga. Fuck you. I said what the fuck I said, man. Don't tell no child say nothing to me. Bitch, that nigga can't even net yet. Fuck you. And I ain't cut like that. I don't need no bitch to go get my money, nigga. I'm a motherfucking man. I put the diamonds on that hoe, boy. Fuck wrong with you, nigga? Who the fuck raised you? You pussy ass nigga. You better make some sense, bitch. I don't even argue with you. Fuck you.
That's what this shit really about, all right? Because at first, I ain't understand what this shit was about. I ain't know what you were talking about, homie. I ain't even respect what you was on at first. Like, I just understood where you were coming from mentally, because I know you throw it off. But you still throw it off for want to beef with a nigga because a nigga liking your bitch post. Bro, nigga like sugar posts, nigga like my bitches posts all the time, bro. You don't see me shooting at no nigga. It's all type of NBA players, football players and shit and sugar shit, nigga. You don't see me going at them, nigga. You talking about real gangsters, nigga. Real gangsters don't cry about women, nigga. Real gangsters don't go to war about women. And like I said, man, you know what I'm saying? You just a young nigga. You don't know no better. I'm from Memphis, man. Man, you know what I'm saying? We make easy money, pimp hoes, man. It's serious. You know what I'm saying? You a young boy. You don't know nothing about this shit right here, man. You using your heart in this shit, man. When that bitch go, she gonna go regardless, my nigga. She gonna do what she gonna do regardless, my nigga. Whether you, yeah, you heard what your guy said, nigga. If it's about a bitch, just it ain't even not worth no money, bro. It ain't worth no money.
Diss him. You know, I'm on a whole different level now, right? Paragraph. I ain't even looking for no money for my pocket from you, bro. Just take care of the business expenses. That's it, little bro. Outfit, travel, that type shit. My security, my car, you feel me? Who am I? I said that, nigga? Diss him. You know, I'm on a whole different level now, right? Paragraph. I ain't even looking for no money for my pocket from you, bro.
Whatever you do, don't turn around. You won't like what you might see behind you. It's AI. It's everywhere. You may even be AI soon, if you're not already. I've made so many videos, fear-mongering for AI to be honest, but I really can't overstate just how big of a deal this technology is. Every single time I say that everything is going to be affected by it, every job, every industry, everything, people doubt it, and they'll have these holdouts for things that AI won't ever replace. And I just have to sit there and giggle and put my pinky to my lip like Dr. Evil as I once again say, firmly, you're fucking wrong. AI is such an unbelievable innovation, it's incomprehensible the effect that it's going to have on us in 10, 15, 20 years. Once again, look at where we started with Will Smith eating a plate of spaghetti that looked like some kind of LSD fever dream type experience, to now, where you can have a very convincing video of Will Smith eating spaghetti and you need him to come out and deny it in order to confirm its authenticity. But for some people, that wouldn't even be good enough because he could be lying. He could be lying about eating that spaghetti or not eating it for that matter. It's so crazy how quickly it's advancing. And one of the big...
Warning, this video contains themes of violence, death, and gang activity. This video is an educational documentary. It does not intend to glorify, incite, or encourage illegal behavior. All of the information is taken from public sources and is shown on the basis of fair use. I've made every effort to ensure accuracy of the sources, but I am not responsible for any content third parties have published. Every effort has been made to censor this video in accordance with YouTube's community guidelines, but if you want to see an uncut version of this video, you can do so on patreon.com/traplawross. But if you're not interested in that, just hit the subscribe button and prepare to hear one of the craziest stories ever told. On November the 15th, 2021, 4 men from 2 different Chicago gangs teamed up to pull off an armed robbery on an armored truck, leaving a Bank of America with over $100,000 in it. This was a heist straight out of GTA 5, but things would turn deadly very quickly. In the process of robbing the truck, they would kill the driver and wound another person guarding the money, and what would follow would be an unfiltered crime spree, ultimately ending in these 2 gangs double-crossing each other and one side being killed. But as Chicago woke up to the news of this brazen robbery that left 3 people dead, many on internet forums like Reddit, familiar with the Chicago gangs that pulled off this hit, knew exactly who was responsible and were not surprised. Because this was just the latest in a years-long string of incidents associated with a gang called 800, with its prominent members being notorious for robberies, murders, and even alleged shootouts with Reddit users themselves. Today, we're going to be taking a closer look at the slimiest, snakiest, most treacherous gang in all of Chicago, 800. 800 is a gang set made up of maniac Mickey Cobras from around 61st and Cottage Grove in Woodlawn. Lil Fat, a prominent member of 800, would later explain the heritage of the gang in an interview with Truth Teller TV.
Okay, now you just said something I want to pinpoint. You said 800, okay? Exactly where is that at?
61st and Cottage Grove, we MCs.
800 has a long history in Chicago and has previously also gone by several other names like 800YM, 800DMG, Frank Block, and Diddy Grove. This gang is often referred to as the most hated as they allegedly have beef with around 20 different other gang sets. And members of 800 often consider themselves to be EBK, or Everybody Killer, meaning that they beef with more or less any gang that isn't their own, including Gangster Disciples, Black Disciples, Vice Lords, Black Peace Stones, and even other Mickey Cobras. However, despite being EBK, 800 has historically had limited alliances with some other gangs. The set had previously linked up with 051 Young Money, hence the nickname 800YM. However, this would all change when 051 Young Money clicked up with TYMB, a sworn enemy of 800. Hence the gang now hating Young Money too and claiming to be Die Y, as was seen prominently in 800 affiliate Boss Smooth's track 61 Dead Ops. As a result of their hatred towards members from Young Money, 800 members are often seen dropping the Y gang sign upside down as a sign of disrespect to Young Money. Now, 800 carry a savage reputation, even by Southside Chicago standards, with many curious Redditors questioning just how
This shit remind me of New York drill. Damn. Of New York drill. I go, damn, I look like an elf.
how many bodies this gang might be responsible for, with the gang themselves often being referred to by the Reddit community as crash dummies for their wild and dangerous antics, even beating the infamous O-Block, 051, 600 and No Limit in a poll by users on the biggest crash outs coming out of the city. 800 literally have beef with gangs that are surrounding their territory from every angle, being only blocks away from 63rd, TYMB and Mac Creek. 800 has been around for a long time and originally came from the project buildings on Cottage Grove, but their current territory ranges from around 61st to 63rd from Cottage Grove to Drexel. However, over the years, gentrification has been prominent in this area, pushing the gang away from their original block. One example of this is the huge dual Osco building that was constructed on 61st and Cottage. This development has actually taken the place of the original project building Ditty Grove that 800 the gang originated from. Therefore, nowadays, 800 members are regularly seen around the 61st and Cottage Grove areas, but they do still frequent their old turf in Drexel and the alleys of the Cottage area. Now, Chicago would become familiar with the crew of 800 in the late 2000s, when they would go to war with another local gang set called Dro City. Over the course of this gang war, 800 would take several massive losses in the streets within a short 4-year span, a devastating run that would ultimately inspire the gang to go on an extreme spree of violence of their own, with these violent back and forths gaining 800 a terrifying reputation all over Chicago. 800 took their first notable loss in the streets in 2009, when one of their members by the name of Tommy Williams was killed by a man called Kevo from a rival gang set called Mac Creek. Mac Creek is a Gangster Disciple set hailing from 62nd and Greenwood University. Now, on April 2nd, 2009, a young 800 affiliate by the name of Tommy would allegedly be standing in a group of around 7 or 8 people when an argument broke out and somebody started shooting. The Chicago Tribune would report a tragic scene as Tommy's grandmother would rush to the scene of the murder, finding the 18-year-old shot at 5 p.m. near East 61st and South Cottage Grove. The police would later reveal that Tommy was indeed a member of the wider Black Peace Stones gang, with 800 the set that we know in the modern day not yet being well established among the authorities at this point in time. Kevo, real name Kevin Watson, was identified as the shooter and later taken to trial and is now serving a whopping 60 years for the murder, with the court even being told how Kevo was a Gangster Disciple and had apparently killed Tommy for his affiliations to the Peace Stones as part of an ongoing beef in the streets. Unfortunately, these gang wars were deeply entrenched in the local neighborhoods and local schools, and in the years that followed, even more violence would play out, affecting members from 800.
One of the biggest sales ever, 30 beef sticks for just $30. Try for $1 each. 6 grams of protein, 0 grams of sugar, paleo and keto certified. No artificial preservatives, no gluten, soy, or corn. Mix and match your favorite flavors. 100% grass-fed and grass-finished beef sticks made in the USA. Celebrate Paleo Valley's spring sale. Try for just $1 each.
You better not! This is how a lot of people with type 2 end up getting infections or even worse. It's been reported that these people often see small cracks or wounds on their feet. Now, never wear your outdoor shoes in the house, and never wear tight socks that leave a ring mark around your ankle or calf area. That's because tiny skin tears or wounds on the feet can go unnoticed due to all the numbing nerve pains. And about 90% of the infectious bacteria from your shoes can be carried into your home, your floors, your couch, and beds. From there, they can invade those tiny cracks on your feet and easily eat their way into your bones and your bloodstream, breeding and multiplying every few seconds, leading to dangerous foot infections that may never heal. Now remember, your shoes are in constant contact with bacteria from public restrooms, animal feces, parasites, fungus, and other infectious microorganisms, and it could be impossible for the body to fight it off since type 2 and high sugar levels reduce our immune response and our ability to clear away fungal infections. Now, if left untreated, these infections can lead to ulcers and gangrene, where the skin and the tendons and the muscles in the feet will start rotting away. At that point, if the foot isn't removed immediately, the infection can spread throughout the body, and that's why this last resort procedure is done, because sadly the alternative is much worse. Now, what can worsen these foot issues are tight socks. You see, high blood sugar can restrict our recovery nerve signals and blood vessels, especially to the feet. And since your feet are the farthest from the heart, bacterial fighting blood flow will have major problems getting there. And that's why our feet are always the first to go when you have type 2. And wearing these tight socks will cut off even more oxygen, more nutrients, and more precious blood flow, along with healing nerve signals from reaching there. And that's why most of the cracks and the cuts in our feet will never seem to heal, no matter what we try. Now the key is to keep our feet clean and always wear soft, blood flow allowing cotton or wool socks. And it's best to wear white socks, which allow people to see if there are any issues from these tiny wounds. But listen, these are the facts. That's why I posted a brand new video showing what folks over 40 must do to start naturally improving their health and seeing lower glucose levels in days. Now on top of that, you'll see a few natural herbs and spices that help boost blood flow, clear out foot numbness, and even support your immune systems, along with tips on supporting vision loss and other type 2 side effects. Now I've listed them all in my doctor-approved healthy blood sugar shopping list that you can take straight to your favorite store when you're grocery shopping, and you can see it all for free by clicking the link below. Plus, when you get there, you'll also see the 3 worst drinks that folks with type 2 must steer clear of, which your doctor may have forgotten to tell you or may not even know about. That's right, so for anyone looking to take back control of their life and health and want to avoid complications that can take away your independence, go ahead and tap on the button below to see my brand new free video right now. I've laid it all out for you and you can see it all for free. I'll see you there.
Two years later, 800 would lose a second member named Diddy, who was shot and killed on February the 21st, 2011. Real name Roselle Phillips, Diddy would be shot while sitting in the driver's seat of a parked car in the 6100 block of South Cottage Grove Avenue, close to where Tommy had lost his life too. After Diddy's death, 800 was given several nicknames to honor their friend, including Diddy Grove, Diddy Maniac Gang or DMG, Diddy City, and the Diddy Grove Boys, DGB. He was clearly beloved by the gang and a notable member of the crew. Diddy has even been referenced in lyrics from rappers that hail from this gang, like the track Pyro Style Part 2, where Boss Smooth raps, "You disrespect Diddy and you'll catch 50. Allegedly, Diddy was so beloved by his gang that his death is actually what started 800 as we know it, with the group previously being referred to as Holly Grove or Mickey City. But unfortunately for 800, having lost Tommy and Diddy just 1 year later, another 800 member would be killed in a horrific home invasion. On March the 28th, 2012, Terry Brown, known on the street as Old Head, was shot over 30 times and killed in a triple homicide. ABC 7 News will report that 3 men were found dead at a home in the 6300 block of South Evans. Old Head was found in the hallway of the property, while another 29-year-old man was found in the kitchen and another man in his 30s found on the back porch. This was a brutal murder scene, made even more shocking by the fact that apparently this incident had allegedly all stemmed from a disagreement over a FUBU jacket. Shockingly, the shooter was apparently Old Head's own friend, Curtis Davis. A Huffington Post article from 2012 would break down how this gruesome triple homicide had played out, all stemming from this FUBU jacket. And according to a Sun-Times article, Davis had swapped the FUBU jacket for some shirts and pants with Old Head, later changing his mind and demanding the jacket back. This led to Davis turning up to Old Head's apartment and shooting everybody there after one of the occupants tried to shoot back. Davis had previously served 18 years of a 40-year sentence for another murder in 1989. In the end, Curtis Davis would indeed be found guilty of all 3 of these murders and sentenced to life in 2014. But despite justice playing out in the courtroom, 800 members would be devastated by the loss of one of their close affiliates. Boss Smooth from 800 would also tribute Ol' Head in his song Pyro Style Part 2, where he says, "You disrespect Ol' Head, you get a swole head, bitch." Following this slew of tragedies, 800 begun getting more and more active in the streets, with stories circulating about the crew having infamous shootouts with people who would go on to become legends in Chicago drill music. In 2013, a beef would break out between members of 800 and a group of gangster disciples from 63rd and St. Lawrence, and Big Mike from 800 would seemingly shoot up one of the most famous members' homes, FBG Duck, with Big Mike taunting Duck on Twitter, claiming that he had done nothing to retaliate after this shooting. 800 Boss Smooth would also join in, taunting FBG Duck and saying that they made him move after shooting up his house. However, these brazen acts would not go unpunished in the streets, and it's alleged that members from St. Lawrence quickly retaliated by shooting Big Mike in his legs, resulting in him being paralyzed and having to use a wheelchair to this day. And FBG Duck would even himself reply to Boss Smooth, implying that it was the GDs from St. Lawrence and 63rd that were directly behind paralyzing Big Mike. However, Boss Smooth would merch it on Diddy that it was a different set that shot Mike, and one popular rumour is that the shooting was actually carried out by another set called TYMB, who may well have actually been responsible for the paralysing of Big Mike. Regardless, the exact cause of this injury would indeed remain a mystery, and despite having feuds with numerous dangerous street gangs in their area, 800 would continue to dish out violence themselves. 2013 was the year that 800 began their spree of violence, leading to a savage reputation, with everything kicking off after a brutal altercation with a member of Mac Creek, the same gang who had killed Tommy in 2009. On September the 9th, 2013, a man named Alan Ross, known in the streets as Fish from Mac Creek, was found laying in a grass patch in Washington Park at 6 a.m. Initially, it was thought he died from a gunshot wound to the back of his head. However, the medical examiner would later determine that he had actually been beaten to death. Redditors have argued that Alan Ross, aka Fish, actually suffered mental disabilities, making this case even more heartbreaking and senseless. Users of the Chicago drill community Chiracology would actually cite this murder as 800's first revenge killing against Mac Creek. One popular rumor is that Fish was actually murdered over a mere $5 debt by an 800 member called Pyro, along with 3 other men. 800 members seemed pretty proud of killing Fish, despite him seemingly not being much of a threat in the streets. Boss Smooth would later rap on his scathing diss track 61 Dead Ops, "We don't do no fighting, end up like Fish." However, the 800 member rumoured to be responsible, Pyro, just 3 years later, in late May 2016, would suffer a brutal ending in scarily similar circumstances to what happened to Fish.
Do you want an easy way to create professional invoices? Try it free at skynova.com.
Pyro, real name Kevin Larry, was in Washington Park, the very same park where Fish was killed, apparently playing dice with members from another gang called MOB when a dispute over a bet heated up. An MOB member by the name of Domo would reportedly shoot Pyro several times, leaving him dead. Now, before this murder, 800 and MOB were apparently on good terms, and Pyro himself had even been pictured with some of their members. No suspects were charged in the following 2 weeks after Pyro's death. However, in a shocking turn of events, MOB Domo would be arrested immediately after holding a press conference, due to the fact that he was seeking $15 million in compensation from the Chicago police after being shot in the back by an officer while running away. A crazy incident which was even caught on camera. And the news would actually report that while Domo was literally waiting for an Uber after his press conference, the police would pull up and arrest him for the murder of Pyro. Really shouldn't have messed with the Chicago police. Domo was later sentenced to 50 years to life in prison for the murder of Pyro. Now, he would later appeal part of his charges with an updated projected parole date of 2066. Prominent member 800 Lil Fats would express his sadness after Domo received his monster sentence, as 800 members likely planned on killing him in retaliation, something which would be made much harder by him doing life in jail. Pyro's murder would cause a major split between the gang's MOB and 800, sparking a war that would later see a notable MOB member's funeral being shot up. But this was far from the only time that 800 had severed their ties with massive gangs in their area. On September the 6th, 2015, 800 members would be involved in an infamous shooting at a block party. Another gang called Jaro City was said to be having a party with another gang called Taekwondo World in 800's territory. So, at around 1 AM, 800 members approached them and began arguing before a fight broke out, ultimately ending in a shootout. During the crossfire, a 20-year-old woman with ties to Jaro City by the name of Booby would end up being shot, later dying in hospital. Booby was apparently the girlfriend of 600 founder Lil Boo, who also died in 2015. Now, these two areas had a pretty historic and serious beef, and Bite Down from 600 would brutally mock her death on Twitter. People on Reddit would speculate on the circumstances surrounding her death, suggesting that she had indeed been killed by 800 members in the crossfire of that shootout. Fast forward to 2018, and 800 were into it with pretty much all of the blocks surrounding them. Even their alliance with 051 Young Money would collapse after 051 linked up with TYMB, ending the alliance between 800 and Young Money. 800 would have the largest grudge against one gang in particular, MOB. Pyro was clearly beloved by his hood, even being memorialized in music. One example being Boss Move's Pyro-style series of songs, or surviving gang members constantly using the phrase on Pyro. So, 800 members would reportedly be looking for their revenge on rivals from MOB, with this grudge making the gang prime suspects in one of Chicago's most infamous shootings. On the 9th of October 2018, MOB Dusky, rap name Dusky the Man, was murdered, allegedly, by 600 members. The following day, MOB members would retaliate, killing a 600 member by the name of Waldo, with intense speculation on the Chiracology subreddit that this was indeed a revenge killing. MOB likely felt at this point that they had avenged their fallen brother. However, Dusky's funeral was set to be held on October the 22nd. And this is when that funeral would be tragically shot up by numerous people with automatic rifles, leaving 6 people shot, with one being the most serious. One of these men was shot in the head, and this person turned out to be Wooski, an infamous gangster disciple from St. Lawrence and Eberhart Avenue. Many rumours would spread after the shooting, debating exactly who it was who could have been responsible, as Wooski, MOB, and the GDs from 63rd and St. Lawrence had a lot of enemies in Chicago. Many have theorised that the shooters were actually O-Block and or 600 members who would shoot up the funeral as revenge for Waldo, with King Von from O-Block himself dropping numerous songs referencing the funeral shooting, like the track Grandson for President, where he references the shooting of Wooski, rapping, "I've been killing stuff for too long, it's like I'm a veteran, Wooski got shot, now he taking medicine, but anyway, GDK." Or on the song Back Again, where he raps that he might slide to funerals and shoot up everybody outside. However, many believe that it was actually 800 that might have been behind the funeral shooting, and much like O-Block's rappers, 800 members would leave many clues in their music relating to this shooting. 800 Fats would rap in his song Do Some, "You know I'm gripping my toolie, run up on him, have him looking like Wooski, slide to the funeral, and shoot us a movie." And on the track Head Tap, Fats would also rap, "Up the Glock, quick head tap, now he looking Wooski slow." However, Lil Fats may not have been involved in the actual shooting, as police recordings from the day of the incident apparently labelled all the alleged shooters as having short dreads, and other 800 members could well match this description, as has been theorised on Reddit. But regardless, it seems 800 was celebrating the shooting that had happened, and shooting up this funeral is already an insane thing to do, but as dark and violence-fueled as 800's history is, nobody could have predicted the rampage that 2 of their members carried out in 2021, when in just one dark day, 4 people were shot, 3 people were killed, and the streets of Chicago were left terrified. Lil Twan, real name Antoine Montgomery, is a known shooter from 800, but it's not just the ops that should be afraid of Lil Twan, but the cops too. He's got a menacing tattoo reading CPDK, or Chicago Police Department Killer, on his left cheek, something that Redditors think may well influence a judge when he ultimately ends up getting caught. There are multiple examples of Lil Twan showcasing his wild and violent behaviour, such as in his Instagram live sessions, where he can be seen upping his gun and taunting his ops from Taekwon World, saying, "Come put that switch on me."
Hey, look, come put that switch on me. Look, they in the comments.
In the same live, he actually tells Lil Tay that he will be leaving where he is staying in downtown to go and kill him.
Look, on my DT, look, I'm Frank Williams, look, I'm DT right now.
So we ain't just go back out there.
I'm DT right now, look, I'm DT right now.
So why is you talking to me, bro?
On Frank on my DT, so I'm finna come that way right now. On Drake, so I'm finna come that way right now, like I'm gonna get up with you.
But to make things worse, Lil Tay was also known for going live in enemies' turfs, showing guns and looking for ops. His chilling final live would be recorded on 800 blocks, and shortly after it ended, he would be gunned down.
Y'all better stop playing, man. Y'all better stop playing.
Now, Lil Twan from 800 is a terrifying gangster and known for sliding with another certified demon from 800 by the name of Lil Fats.
What the is my life?
DeAndre Jennings, or Lil Fats, hails from the exact block 800 started on, 61st and Cottage Grove in Woodlawn.
Motherfuckers already been knowing me since I was a shorty type of shit. Like, my face before the rap, I don't even rap anymore.
Right. So that's how it kind of crowd. You think the popularity you had, it was easy to transition after YouTube? That's how people knew who you was so fast?
No, I can't say that because, like, this was already been in play. Like, my already was telling me to rap, but I'm on some Lil Fats don't want to rap type shit. I don't know that.
But it wasn't until the death of Pyro in 2016 that Fats begun getting more brutal in the streets. Fats would reference how Pyro's death affected him on his song Heating Up, rapping that when Pyro died, it had him tweaking. And on the track Head Tap, he raps, "Mention Pyro name, now he dead, better claim your bro." There are many examples of Fats acting brash, crazy, and doing the unthinkable online, such as when Fats approached Taekwondo World members all by himself, dissing Tuka and daring them to say F Pyro.
Say Pyro. Come on, man. What's up? Say Pyro.
He would then turn the camera and can be heard slapping D-Money. In a similar altercation, he approached members from THF in the courthouse and dissed their dead friends to their face, clearly trying to antagonize them. 051 Driller even shared the post, saying that he respects Fats, even though their gangs have beef.
800 Fats gang, no. Yeah.
And much like Lil Twan, Fats appears to have zero respect for the Chicago Police Department, having even recorded himself driving off on the police while toting guns, with Redditors circulating pictures of him in police chases.
Stop out for a minute, right? Stop out. Go. My stop going. Put it in. Stick my go. Fly.
In fact, Redditors have even speculated on Lil Fats being 5X or having killed 5 people, something that Fats seemingly admits himself when he was on IG Live with Lil Don from Pocket Town.
But okay then. Don't ask me that. No, I'm talking about you and me knowing you. What I do to people on Cabin Grade? What I do to people? No. What you did once before on Pyro? How many funerals did it's been on Pyro? Stop that. You better slow down, baby boy. Hey, Fazzo, you can't talk that talk with me, folks. You can't talk that talk with me, folks. We go toe to toe, folks. You better slow your roll, baby boy. Hey,
one of these bodies allegedly was 051 Montana's sister, a man who Fats had even been pictured with. Now, it would appear that Lil Fats has no regard for broadcasting his criminality online, regularly showing off to the world what some people believe are actual murder weapons on his Instagram story. And Lil Fats has been seen numerous times lurking in his ops blocks, armed with high-powered weapons.
I'm here on the ill, man.
Fats would even brag about robbing a diamond chain from a handicapped man, and openly admitting to being a prolific chain snatcher on his song Smooth Style. Fats is also known for going live purposely to share his location and seeing if his ops pull up. In 2020, Fats would get his first alleged body, a man named Curio from Murdertown. Murdertown, or MTG 039, is located in the Wentworth homes from 39th and Princeton to 39th and Wentworth. On January the 2nd, Fats and Lil Twin were actually set to have a meetup trading weapons with Murdertown members. Curio was present at the meetup and was said to have traded guns with Fats. However, 800 would claim that he was acting weird during the trade. Fats and Lil Twin would allegedly shoot Curio to death and steal his gun, with theories circulating on Reddit that Curio was in fact killed by Lil Twin and Fats together, as well as other rumours that Curio had actually been Murdertown's top killer with 2 bodies on Welch World's biggest op 757 at the time of his murder. Fats would even mention the murder in his song Main Slime, rapping, "Curry died, that back door open." After his death, 800 members would even post clips online rapping lyrics that appear to reference this incident.
This is we walking up on you and emptying clips where it's roof at. I'm smoking this curry, smoking good. I feel like I might go see high head. Niggas tough on the net today, homies get stressed. Now they trying to tweet like he not dead. If it's something that's stuck, cause I say what.
And just 2 months after the murder, Fats and 800 members would allegedly kill again in an almost identical situation. On the 10th of March 2020, members from 800 were planning to do a gun trade again, this time with a Faceworld 069 member called Bando Hothead. The trade would go through as planned, but 800 still chose to kill Bando Hothead whilst he wasn't looking, shooting him in the head, groin and back, leaving him dead at just 17 years old. And the shocking image of the aftermath of this killing was even posted to Reddit, with the police officer seeming to smile over Bando's corpse. But to make matters worse, 800 members would pose with Bando Hothead's guns very soon after the murder, and 800 members even showed off the weapon in a music video for Lil Twin's track 800 Fats Home. G Gotti from 800 would go even further, allegedly posing with Bando Hothead's gun and showing the bloodstains still on it. Fats himself would mention the murder in his music, like on the track Smooth Style, where he raps, "Hothead in the air, I smell it." Off the back of these incidents, 800 have become infamous for turning on people. Redditors would even troll Fats, jokingly asking if he wants to trade guns, with Fats actually posting that, saying that everybody is too scared to trade guns with them now. Due to these murders, 800 now have a reputation for backdooring people or being snakes. The topic itself even becoming a running joke on Reddit, with people posting DMs that they got from people asking to trade guns with the word backdoor in their handle. It would seem that 800 were on a mission to cut ties and betray anyone, even the very few gang sets that were still cordial with them. And since Bando's murder, a war had started between 800 and 069 Faceworld, with 069 members seen riding around 800's hood looking for targets.
Hey, you a snake? Somebody tell the 800 them I'm out here.
Fats would continue moving wild in the streets until later in 2020, when 800 would take a huge loss yet again, with this one being the death of their greatest talent and biggest star. On the 11th of October 2020, Boss Smooth, real name Jeremiah McCoy, was sitting in the passenger seat of a car. The car had pulled up to the Shell petrol station at the 8600 block of South State Street. This is an area that seems to be a shocking hotspot for gangland murders, as was also seen in 2023 with CCTV cameras capturing a similar shooting. But on this day, in 2020, a blue sedan would pull up next to Boss Smooth, opening fire, with the passengers of that car shooting him over 30 times with Draco machine guns. Boss Smooth would suffer multiple headshots, ultimately being pronounced dead in hospital. As mentioned before, Boss Smooth had released several songs and was easily the most talented and successful rapper from 800. However, his catalogue also included many disses at Ops and entire gangs, like his hugely disrespectful track 61 Dead Ops. However, Boss Smooth may well have made himself an even bigger target in 2020 when he dissed Curio, referencing the whole gun trade situation. Rapping in his track How I'm Coming remix, it's supposed to have been a trade for a trade, he acting weird, trying to play, he effed around and got played. Fats can also be seen in that video, which had lyrics that stated, "You better not pull up on Lil Fats, if you do come correct, one slip, you ain't coming back." Boss Smooth and Fats were clearly very close, and in the aftermath of the murder, many rumours circulated as to who it was that might have killed Boss Smooth, with many people believing that it was either Murder Town or Faceworld 069. During a live session with 800 Lil Twin and Casey Money from 069, it was revealed who might have actually been behind the murder, as Lil Twin would admit, after arguing with Casey Money, a rapper from 069, that it was actually Mix Mob.
What you think happened to Smooth, bro? You stupid, bro. Y'all ain't had nothing to do with that. Ain't no killing without killing, bro. On Pyro, y'all ain't had nothing to do with that. So y'all saying
Who the killed them then, bro? Who killed them then, bro?
So you claiming
Who killed them then, bro? I ain't claiming it, bro. I'm not
shit to do with Smooth.
Don't get on loud, man.
Don't get on loud.
Goofy, bro.
Don't get on here flogging like y'all killed for Smooth on Pyro. Y'all ain't do shit to Smooth.
Bro, I'm not trying to talk about no dead, no bodies, none of that, bro. It's all type of people watching.
On Pyro, Mix Mob kill Smooth. On Diggy, you or Face ain't have to do with that. On Pyro.
Mix Mob members were even in the chat telling Casey Money to stop claiming the murder. Since his death, it was said that 800 Fats went crazy in the streets trying to get back for Boss Smooth. He had even been pictured with Boss Smooth's son, showing just how strong their relationship must have been. But interestingly, setting aside his savage history and reputation, one of Lil Fats' most shocking antics online may well have been his back and forth with an actual Redditor from r/Chiracology. This dispute saw both Fats and the Redditor dropping their locations and trying to meet up for a shootout, posting everything for the whole world to see.
The gods will bless us, won't they?
Of course! I believe they've always been on our side. Will the gods bless us?
I believe.
They've always been on our side. Grant us the strength to protect ourselves.
Grant us the strength to overcome all our enemies!
By the grace of the gods! I shall bestow my blessings upon you. Forever, my child. Now, wield this power to protect yourselves. Step into the fray. Until the flames of war consume the land. Until your bodies burn out. I will eternally bless you.
Mortals are not simple pawns. The swords handed to them by your very hands one day will turn against you.
Nickelodeon was kid everything, but that marked one of the darkest chapters. These are 3 predators who worked at Nickelodeon.
It made me wonder who was being hurt.
Have you ever told your story publicly before?
Quiet on Set, an ID true crime event, Sunday, March 17th at 9 on ID.
A mysterious user appeared on Reddit with the handle More Slime Than Fats, making a post on Chiracology calling out Fats from 800, saying that if 800 Fats posts his location, he will pull up and have a live shootout with him. Redditors would go on to question this user's authenticity, to which the user More Slime Than Fats would double down, claiming that he is in Chicago and very serious about catching Fats. Fats himself would even catch wind of the post, sharing it to his own Instagram and asking what is wrong with these people. More Slime Than Fats would then DM a popular Chiracology user on Instagram asking him to get in touch with Fats directly and reaffirming that he would pull up to his live in person. He would claim that his beef with Fats stems from Fats stealing a gun from his younger cousin that belonged to him that he wants back. More Slime Than Fats was also very familiar with Fats' IG live antics, as he would often go live in enemy hoods attempting to draw out his ops to kill or humiliate them.
And I'm outside with my Glock on me, on Glock 21 on me, on cap grade out. And I'ma stay on the line and wait for y'all to come and all type of shit on, oh, we could do it. Be having all that secret ass smoking on mid grade, let me know something. On, oh, I'm right down the street, we could do it. We could do whatever on, oh. Anybody want the smoke, pull up on, oh. We could do it on Pyro.
After learning why More Slime Than Fats was after him, the real Fats actually chose to go live together with him.
What's up with it, boy? Hold on.
You mo.
Don't trip, hold on.
Are you more slime than me?
Hell yeah, where you at? I'm trying to pull up, shorty.
They would then agree on a meetup location, and Fats tells the Reddit user to pull up on 82nd and Drexel.
But where you trying to meet at?
Man, we can meet on 82nd and Ingleside or go on 62nd and Kempark. I'm pulling up right now, and it's merch.
With More Slime Than Fats then confirming that he will go to the meetup, but that he is going to stay on live. Fats then calls the Reddit user the police, refusing to link up. More Slime Than Fats would then call the real Fats scared before being kicked out of the live.
So you scared?
The pair would briefly go live again, with Fats continuing to call More Slime Than Fats the police, with the Reddit user replying, F the US Marshals, showing off a Draco.
I'm saying, US Marshals, G, let's do it.
This live itself would be shared to the Chiracology subreddit, with commenters being worried that someone might be about to end up dead off the back of a Reddit post. Shortly after, 800 Fats then has a change of heart, going back on live. He would patrol the area where the two had agreed to meet up, strapped with a number of guns, seemingly ready to catch this Reddit user. As this crazy and intimidating ordeal would play out for the world, other commenters on Reddit would be in disbelief. And to the surprise of everybody, More Slime Than Fats actually confirmed in the comments that he in fact pulled up, with a link to a new post showing the exact same view that 800 Fats recorded on his live, with this post leaving Redditors in disbelief once again, as commenters would say that they couldn't believe they were about to witness a drill live. More Slime Than Fats would then post even more footage of him driving around the agreed area, allegedly just 45 minutes after Fats himself had gone live there, and in the video you can see that More Slime Than Fats actually covers the exact route that 800 Fats did in his live. This is a crazy move considering the fact that 800 Fats is a certified killer. Then, a tweet by a Chicago Twitter page that shares reports from a police scanner would report that 19 shots had been fired in the area, with the report being just 0.4 miles away from 82nd and Drexel, where Fats and More Slime had actually agreed to meet and have their shootout. This was posted to the subreddit to the shock of all the Redditors who were following along like some kind of live twisted reality show, with commenters in disbelief again that Reddit had seemingly baited a real-life Chicago savage into a real-life shooting. However, another Redditor would make a post debunking the speculation and confirming that this shooting may well have been just coincidental, with More Slime Than Fats hopping online to confirm that it wasn't them shooting in the comments. But some suspect that the shooting may well really have been them and that they're just denying it on Reddit to stay out of trouble. But regardless, this is one of the craziest sagas from the Chiracology subreddit in history, where a real Chirac savage was drawn out by an internet troll looking for clout into a possible shootout scenario in front of the whole world to see. But anyway, now that you know 800 Fats' body of work, it's pretty clear to see why he has become an extreme example of a crazy Chicago killer. And just months after the More Than Slime Fats ordeal, Lil Twan and Fats would end up getting into a serious real-life situation, ultimately catching one of the most infamous and violent cases that I have ever seen from a Chicago rapper. On November the 15th, 2021, 800 members Lil Fats and Lil Twan attempted a GTA-style heist on an armoured truck, something that has apparently become commonplace in Chicago over the recent years. These two allegedly carried out the robbery with two members from Newski Gang 079, Dewey 4, an alleged cousin of Fats, and another member called Spook. At 9 AM, Lil Fats and Lil Twan would meet up at a home in the 8700 block of South Saginaw to plan out the attack. They allegedly had said that they had a lick lined up to hit an ATM and they would be getting a lot of cash. At 10:30, they grouped with the 079 members and travelled to the Bank of America on 250 West 83rd Street. Here, they would witness a Garda armoured truck arriving to the bank, with LaShonda Harts and two male colleagues emptying ATM containers and refilling them with around $50,000 to $80,000 cash. Police would later confirm that Antoine Davis, aka Lil Twan, would jump out, attempting to grab the container, ensuing a struggle. Montgomery Jennings, aka Lil Fats, and one of the 079 members would then exit their stolen vehicle and begin to shoot at the guards. LaShonda Harts would suffer 3 gunshot wounds, later dying of her injuries. And in a tragic turn of events, it would turn out that LaShonda Harts was actually new to this job, and she had clearly been excited to be starting this role, as messages to a friend from September the 25th, 2021 were later released, where LaShonda explains just how much she was looking forward to working in her new job as an armoured guard, and thanking God for her blessings. Only 68 days after starting the job, the heist would take place, killing her at work. The other victim was shot once in the stomach and taken into hospital, initially in critical condition, but thankfully surviving. Police and prosecutors said that the robbery crew were actually unable to get the cash container from the guards during the attack, and they would flee the scene in a stolen Lincoln. Ultimately, they had failed the robbery in every way possible, and the bank surveillance cameras would catch the attack and what the men were wearing. Shortly after, a witness was parked behind an SUV when he saw the stolen Lincoln pull up alongside the SUV. Lil Fats and Lil Twan got out of the Lincoln and entered the SUV driving away. 30 minutes later, Lil Fats and Lil Twan were seen on another CCTV camera entering a strip mall on the 6700 block of South Stony Island, just a 12-minute drive away from the bank. Here, they would rob the Boost mobile store, getting away with just a bag of mobile phones. Court documents would then show that Lil Fats and Lil Twan regrouped with the two 079 members at around 11:30 AM at the original location where they planned the attack on South Saginaw. One witness claims to have heard gunshots, followed by an Infiniti SUV crashing into a tree. Lil Fats and Lil Twan would then run into a nearby home, and whilst inside the home, prosecutors said that a witness would see the pair and other individuals passing around a duffel bag containing a rifle as they talked about hiding their guns. Lil Fats would later tell one of the people inside the home to call the police and tell them that somebody had been shot and killed in a car outside the house. This was all because 800 members had actually turned on the 079 members, shooting them dead in the SUV outside.
Do you want an easy way to create professional invoices? Try it free at skynova.com.
Dewey was even allegedly Fats' cousin and had plugged his music publicly on Instagram before, eerily calling his cousin SnakeNet. Continuing his streak of backdooring people who thought they could trust 800, this time Fats had taken it further, snaking his own cousin and killing him. Shortly after this, a SWAT team was called into the area, where very quickly the pair were then arrested and charged with murder, attempted murder, and armed robbery. Investigators would find the bag of mobile phones inside the crashed vehicle, and inside the home were 5 guns, clothing, shoes, and a mask, all matching witness descriptions of the robbers who stuck up the armoured truck. The guns were also covered in gunpowder residue and matched the shell casings found at the scene of the robbery. This was a wild incident and would make the news once the media... To conclude, when it's all said and done, both Lil Fats and Lil Twan killed 3 people and seriously injured another guard, whilst likely traumatizing anybody that they bumped into along their rampage, all to achieve nothing. They left the bank empty-handed, and the phones they stole were left inside the crashed car. Both chose to crash out and will now likely spend the rest of their lives behind bars due to this failed robbery. But to make things even worse, they chose to turn on their accomplices for seemingly no reason. 2 men who they chose to bring along to the job, with this being made even more tragic when you consider the fact that Dewey 4 was just finding his feet in music and making serious waves as a drill rapper. His most popular song would even exceed 1 million views, being released after his death, and in the video, Dewey is memorialized in the most suitable Chicago drill style there is, as a cardboard cutout surrounded by masked men with pistols and extended magazines. By choosing to embark on that robbery, Lil Fats and Lil Twan essentially ruined the lives of everyone involved and murdered an innocent woman just doing her job. And if November the 15th wasn't bad enough, the fallout following their arrest would be as explosive as the incident itself. Despite being a villain in the streets and a hardened Chicago gangster, in the end Lil Fats would cooperate on the murder of LaShonda Harts, claiming that Spook was the man that killed her. Fats has been criticized by many due to him cooperating despite a allegedly being a hardened killer and self-proclaimed snake. Even though Spook is now dead, Fats, who is considered one of the craziest known members, is cooperating with the police and violating the so-called street code. Lil Twan, his accomplice, has even labelled him a rat from his Instagram page, as have 800's ops from Taekwon World, labelling Fats as a snitch, a snake, and a killer all in one. Fats telling on Spook is likely an attempt at an alibi to dodge himself being held responsible for the murder charge of LaShonda Harts. However, the two murders of Dewey 4 and Spook, as well as the armed robberies themselves, are all backed up by a mountain of evidence. With all of this meaning, it's pretty unlikely that Fats can beat these charges, whether he's informing or not. 800 Lil Twan actually took to his Instagram story 2 weeks ago, strangely claiming that the feds dropped his case as there's not enough evidence. However, this is pretty hard to believe considering how much evidence was showcased just on that news report alone. Meanwhile, Big Mike from 800 chimed in, labeling both Lil Twan and Fats as rats, and claiming that both of them are no longer in the gang 800. Whilst awaiting his trial, 800 Lil Fats has had his fair share of altercations in jail, with 800 ever fed not. 800 Lil Twan actually took to his Instagram story 2 weeks ago, strangely claiming that the feds dropped his case as there's not enough evidence. However, this is pretty hard to believe considering claiming amounts is let E-Rain men his job. Fats and Lil Twan essentially ruined the lives of everyone involved and murdered an innocent woman just doing her job. And if November the 15th wasn't bad enough, the fallout following their arrest would be as explosive as the incident itself. Despite being a villain in the streets and a hardened Chicago gangster, in the end Lil Fats would cooperate on the murder of LaShonda Harts, claiming that Spook was the man that killed her. Fats has been criticized by many due to him cooperating despite allegedly being a hardened killer and self-proclaimed snake. Even though Spook is now dead, Fats, who is considered one of the craziest known members, is cooperating with the police and violating the so-called street code. Lil Twan, his accomplice, has even labeled him a rat from his Instagram page, as have 800's ops from Taekwon World, labeling Fats as a snitch, a snake, and a killer all in one. Fats telling on Spook is likely an attempt at an alibi to dodge himself being held responsible for the murder charge of LaShonda Harts. However, the two murders of Dewey 4 and Spook, as well as the armed robberies themselves, are all backed up by a mountain of evidence. With all of this meaning, it's pretty unlikely that Fats can beat these charges, whether he's informing or not. 800 Lil Twan actually took to his Instagram story 2 weeks ago, strangely claiming that the feds dropped his case as there's not enough evidence. However, this is pretty hard to believe considering how much evidence was showcased just on that news report alone. Meanwhile, Big Mike from 800 chimed in, labeling both Lil Twan and Fats as rats, and claiming that both of them are no longer in the gang 800. Whilst awaiting his trial, 800 Lil Fats has had his fair share of altercations in jail, with one even being seen in prison guard body cam footage where Lil Fats is released into his cell, where he then jumps at his cellmate, attacking him, then elbowing another prison guard in the nose.
Stop. Hey, man, watch yourself. Watch yourself. What are you doing? Watch yourself.
Handcuff.
Damn, man.
Relax. I'm not. Just try elbowing one of my officers, man. Relax.
He got me on my nose.
الحمير بياكله حرام عليكم احنا بدنا ناكل مش قادرين يا حنين حرام عليكم حرام عليكم حرام عليكم.
You see these children, they're starving.
Relax.
I take my wrist, man.
Relax. We're not even applying pressure. Relax.
Look, man, my left wrist, man, on my son, man, I can't feel it. I'm not resisting, man. On my son, I can't feel my hand. My hand is burning.
You got control of your wrist. We're escorting you. Like I said, you became combative. You struck one of my officers. I need you to relax. All right?
Look, man, I start walking slowly, man.
We are walking slow, sir, and we're taking the elevator. You're not even taking the stairs, so relax.
You gotta say that file?
Hold it in the row one time, bullpen 5.
Sergeant Abrowski, star number 3307. Today's date's May 4th. It's 2:05 a.m. at the detainee.
Jamie.
First name?
DeAndre.
ID number?
202-111-8091.
So you attacked the guy in the cell?
Yeah.
Why?
Because we was into it. That's why I took off running when they let me out the handcuffs.
Detainee was cleared medically by Nurse Lorenz. Detainee is awaiting new housing. This concludes interview with detainee Jennings.
I need medical attention.
It's been reported by popular Instagram page Squid Ape that Lil Fats was beaten up in jail by one of the family members of the victims killed in the robbery. Lil Twan would also share that he was attacked by ops in the jail too, with Fats replying saying that he was paid $150 to say this, as well as other posts circulating appearing to claim that Fats was beaten up in jail himself. Unfortunately, it may be years before we find out what punishment, if any, will be dished out for this heinous heist turned murder spree. The only thing that is certain is that 3 lives were lost that day, and if the feds can prove it, Fats and Twan will likely spend the rest of their lives behind a prison door, leaving behind their families and their loved ones. It just goes to show you that, as usual, the streets are a dead end. Whether it's gangbanging or robbing, these kinds of activities can only lead to a grave or prison. I hope that the next Warning: the purpose of this video is for educational, informational, and documentary purposes only, and it's not intending to glorify, incite, or encourage illegal behavior in any way. Everything in this video has been taken from publicly available sources, and any footage used is covered under the doctrine of fair use. We have made every effort to ensure the accuracy of our sources, but I'm not responsible for content third parties publish. All of the opinions in this video are mine alone. This video contains themes of violence, death, explicit language, and gang activity, and every effort has been made to censor this video in accordance with YouTube's advertiser and community guidelines. However, if you want to see my videos with everything I can't show you on YouTube, please visit patreon.com/traplawross, where you can watch uncut versions of my videos for just $2 a month. But if you're not interested in that, just hit the subscribe button and get ready to hear one of the craziest stories ever told. Young Dolph was one of hip-hop's most beloved stars when he was brutally gunned down in 2021. But what a lot of people didn't know is that while hip-hop fans all over the world were mourning the loss of their favourite street rapper, back in his native Memphis, the street figures that depended on him when he was alive were loading up their guns and preparing to wage war in his name.
Who shot and killed young Dolph in his own hometown? This grainy photo released by police shows a person in gray pants and a dark hoodie, with gun in hand, apparently firing.
In the months and years that followed, a deadly revenge campaign would play out on the streets of Memphis, and those who loved young Dolph ruthlessly attempted to slide in his name, killing anyone who even remotely had something to do with his death. And in the wake of Dolph's murder, all eyes were on his biggest rival in the rap game, Yo Gotti, who had been embroiled in a years-long feud with Dolph, with numerous unsuccessful attempts being made on his life before Dolph was gunned down in 2021. Unfortunately for Yo Gotti, even with his biggest rival losing his life in 2021, the deadly street feud that he played a part in sparking would come back to haunt him. Just as recently as 2024, Yo Gotti's brother Big Jook would be brutally gunned down following a funeral service which they both attended.
The person killed is Anthony Mims, also known as Big Jook. Now, Big Jook is the brother of rapper Yo Gotti.
With the shooting of Jook, ironically bearing the very same hallmarks of a murder attempt on Dolph in 2017 that saw 100 bullets fired into his car.
Man, young dog just got through performing. Get somebody laying on him, man. Sound like shot rag out here, man.
Is this all just a deadly coincidence? Or are young Dolph shooters really sliding on Yo Gotti and his crew until there's nobody left? Well, there's only one way to find out. I'm Traplaw Ross, the hip-hop investigator, and today we're taking a closer look at the deadly war for the streets of Memphis.
You better not! This is how a lot of people with type 2 end up getting infections, or even worse. It's been reported that these people often see
The war between Yo Gotti and young Dolph is nothing new. In fact, I already conducted a deep investigation into this story in a previous video in 2019 before Dolph was killed. So to truly understand what's going on, let's take a quick recap and follow the key moments in the beef between Dolph and Gotti, and their respective record labels, PRE, aka Paper Route Empire, and CMG, the Collective Music Group.
Detectives looking into the possibility of bad blood between rival rappers. Several months ago in North Carolina, young Dolph's SUV was shot at 100 times. Witnesses heard the shots here in Hollywood, and nearby security video captured a person running from an SUV.
Things popped off hard for young Dolph in 2017 when he was in North Carolina. Here, Dolph was shot at reportedly over 100 times, but managed to walk away unscathed thanks to the $300,000 bulletproof SUV that he was riding in at the time. But anyway, why on earth would somebody want to shoot a rain of 100 bullets on young Dolph? Well, to truly understand that, we've got to look at Dolph's long-running feud with fellow Memphis rap legend and the best rapper for your digestive system, Yo Gotti. Many have speculated that Yo and his Collective Music Group may have had something to do with that shooting. But if you're not as plugged into the hip-hop culture as me, you may be wondering who the hell Yo Gotti is. Well, Yo Gotti, if you don't know, is another Memphis rap legend who's been grinding for over a decade, but in the past few years has had some pretty mainstream hits, including Down in the DM, FU, Rake It Up, and more recently, put a date on it. Now, both rappers rep Memphis, Tennessee to the fullest, and their claim to the throne of King of Memphis has been a big part of this beef from the start. However, for the record, Memphis has been the home to many kings of hip-hop over the years, including 8 Ball and MJG, as well as 3 6 Mafia's Juicy J, Project Pat, and DJ Paul, as well as Gotti and Dolph. This feud began officially in 2014 when Young Dolph, still a mixtape rapper at the time, began speaking publicly about the fact that he'd turned down a record deal from Yo Gotti and his CMG label. Dolph addressed the declining of this offer in an interview with Sway.
Like, Gotti wanted me to do like, man, come on, bro, let's do CMG paper route. It's cool. I'm knocking for that. If I was him, I would have came to me like that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But only thing was going to happen behind it was people like, oh, he popped off because of Gotti. You feel what I'm saying? Which I can't do that because I got too much of my own time and money invested in it.
Gotti replied to this in a Breakfast Club interview, and he sounded pretty positive about things. Now, things were quiet for the next year or so, but then in February 2016, for some reason, Young Dolphin decided to get his flippers in a twist and come out and sneak diss Yo Gotti on Twitter. Now, I'm not sure what went on behind the scenes that triggered Young Dolph to tweet this, but I'm sure it has nothing to do with the fact that the week after he had his first album, The King of Memphis, drop it. Now, naturally, this album title ruffled a few feathers in Memphis, and it would have been reasonable to think Gotti and the general public would have seen this as an attempt by Young Dolph to try and take that crown as the King of Memphis. Now, keep in mind that Gotti, amongst other people, were known for calling themselves the King of Memphis in their raps, as well as on Gotti's own Twitter page. That same day, Yo Gotti and his CMG artist Black Youngster passed through the Breakfast Club to do an interview about Gotti's song Down in the DM hitting the charts. It's a hilarious interview where for some reason Black Youngster decides to count $200,000 in cash throughout the entire thing.
What is this?
Okay, all right, that's what I'm talking about.
You about to print up some money?
I'm in the mood swing right now. Your guy is like, what is this guy doing? This is my artist?
Oh, whoa.
Okay. Now, can I get a plug, though? Goodness gracious. Can I get a plug? I'm going to count 200 out real quick.
There's a plug right
I got
here.
about 100. All right, what you got? How much you got in your pocket? I got about 100.
And whilst Dolph's King of Memphis project isn't actually mentioned in this interview, it does get brought up that Yo Gotti did kickstart his career by dissing members of 3 6 Mafia.
Now, one of your first records, you were actually going at 3 6 Mafia in your first record. My first record?
A week after that, Dolph appears on a Hot 97 interview and talks on the Gotti beef. Now, he doesn't necessarily have anything new to add, but he does say that the two aren't on speaking terms.
Okay, so have you and Yo Gotti had a conversation lately? Have you guys nothing? And you're not interested in having that conversation?
It ain't no pressure with me. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like people don't understand, like everybody on the outside looking in. Yo Gotti was texting my phone for 2 years straight. What you doing, bro? What you working on, bro? Let's do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's do that. Like, it's cool. It's cool. Now, we ain't had no conversation, but if you wanted to, you know what's up. You can call me or call somebody around me, get in touch with me, but, you know, I'm gonna keep doing what I do, regardless. You know what I'm saying?
And it ain't no problem.
Nah, it ain't no problem, but it's different, though. He ain't, you know when somebody like this right here, you know what I mean? It's just like everybody else done came in contact with me, like, Dolph, come on, let's do this, bro. Let's put together a joint venture, or let me sign you, let's do that. And I'd be like, no, I rock with you, but I can't do that. But we still cool, we still doing music, we still kicking, we still doing whatever.
Now, the following month, Yo Gotti's CMG artist and serial Twix thief, Black Youngster.
Here, my brother. We gonna keep you out of trouble, man.
Okay,
here,
yeah, thank you, appreciate that.
There you go, Twix for you.
I'm gonna steal the rest of them now, I got to.
Decides to throw his hat into the beef officially, calling out Dolph for his King of Memphis claims, and going on Instagram and saying that he's gonna slap the shit out of him.
Hey, man, I'm gonna keep this G, bro. Dolph, you a bitch, you a soft ass, you nice ass. If you got a problem, say you got a problem. Shake ass, bitch ass. Ain't no motherfucking king of Memphis, you ain't king of South Memphis, you ain't from the city, bitch.
He proves to the world that he is really about it by pulling up at Young Dolph's block with a whole bunch of goons and dicks looking like a young soldier boy.
We in Castain right now, cuz. What Dolph at, cuz? Where he at, cuz? Where he at? Where he at right now? Where he at? Where he at? Where he at?
Where you at,
Where you at? See the left back?
Where you at, dog?
Where you at? Where you at? We in Castain right now. We just left the store. Where you at right now, dog? Where you at right now? Where you at? Where you at?
CMG, bitch.
I love Castain, but I don't with dog. Dead. We don't with dog. You dog, cuz? Yeah. Castain love me, boy. You know what's going on, boy.
For years. To be fair, this seems like pretty erratic behavior from Black Youngster, but I would like to add that he clarified why he did this in a DJ Vlad interview quite a while later, suggesting that this incident was more to do with a personal incident that he'd had with Young Dolph, as opposed to the album titling or the Yo Gotti disrespect.
It was a personal issue. You know what I'm saying? Me and homie had a personal issue. I got the phone call. Homie said that, and I'm like, damn, for real? So I ain't want to believe it. But when you turn around, so I'm like, boom, I'm like, man, damn.
Yo Gotti then appears in an interview with the British First Minister of Wiggery, Tim Westwood, where he suggests that he's not really in favour of the way that Black Youngster is handling this situation.
Now, what the f is going on with Dolph, baby? What is going on with Black Youngster? What is going on, man?
Ain't nothing popping, man.
That is crazy, man. That video was scary.
Yeah, I think it's probably a little misunderstanding. Ain't nothing really popping. You know, little homie young though. You know what I'm saying? Little homie young and wild in the streets and you know, they just move a little different. You know.
Crazy.
Yeah, he just move a little different.
They were popping out some machines and I'm glad Dolph just didn't turn up around the corner. I mean, King of Memphis, for us white folks, there's only one king. Sorry, dog. Sorry for us white folks.
Now, Dolph wastes absolutely no time getting even, and he immediately takes to Instagram and disses Black Youngster as well as Yo Gotti, calling them bitches, suggesting that they called the cops on him, and calling them out for dissing 3-6 Mafia early in their careers.
Hey, I've been spraying your bitch ass for years, and the whole city know that. Ho Gotti, you was a bitch ass. I just got back to the city, they say you trying to put charges on me and put the police on me. You send your little do all your talking. Talk for yourself, bitch ass. Hey, that big head Down syndrome looking motherfucker hate on everybody from the city that gets some real money. You start out hating on 3-6 and they were having Oscars. You had to hate because you were broke. That's the only way you can get attention, boy.
Now, interestingly, that same day, the rapper Trouble releases the remix for his song Ready, which features Young Thug and Young Dolph. Later that year, Black Youngster basically confirmed the fact that this diss was about him, and you can tell by looking at the lyrics. So Youngster rushed to the studio to add a diss song onto the mixtape that he was just about to release, and in that confusion, he didn't actually get a chance to clear this with Yo Gotti. So that diss track eventually came out from Black Youngster called Shake Sutton, and it ended up coming out along with a music video with a bunch of shots that were filmed that same day that Black Youngster pulled up on the block with his goons. To be honest, this was kind of a trash diss track, and nothing really happened for a few months until September, when during an interview, Black Youngster suggested that while things weren't actually squashed, he was over the beef and Yo Gotti doesn't have any problems with Dolph.
What did Yo Gotti say about Young Dolph when that happened?
Man, to be honest, I'm gonna keep it real. This something he probably wouldn't even want me to say. I'm gonna say it because we on the Breakfast Club, we get exclusive. No, we tell the truth. He actually liked Dolph. Like every time he ever spoke to me about Dolph, like said something, he spoke good about him. He actually like
Gotti and
like,
Dolph.
man,
Okay.
I swear for God, I'm not lying. If Big Homie mad, I said this, I said it. It is what it is. But he actually liked it, man. We ain't never had nothing against him. Like, you feel what I'm saying?
But they felt like you was coming at him on behalf of Gotti.
Nah,
coming at Dolph. Yeah.
You must have heard of this song. Nah, we ain't never squashed it, but I ain't on it no more. I ain't studying it, you know.
And then again, a little while later in October, Youngster once again confirmed that he was over the beef.
You know, I ain't on it no more. I ain't studying it. I respect what I'm doing, how I'm getting this money. Get your money, I'm gonna get mine. You know, I ain't studying. I ain't on it no more though.
Toxic pollution in the air kills more Americans every year than murder and car crashes combined. Methane gas facilities are major contributors to toxic pollution in the air. Particulates get into our lungs when we breathe and cause or worsen cancer. Methane is 80 times more potent of a greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide. President Biden recently paused development of 17 methane gas facilities to protect our air and health. Check out toxicgasfacts.org.
Now, things went quiet for a little bit until a few months later in February 2017, when seemingly out of nowhere, Young Dolph dropped a savage diss track called Play With Yo Bitch. This featured some pretty spicy lyrics and a cover art that all seemed to suggest that Yo Gotti's baby mama had hooked up with Young Dolph, and that Yo Gotti had found Dolph's number in her phone and got mad about it. It's also worth noting that in that song, he describes Memphis as Dolphland, which shouldn't be confused with the slightly larger Dolph World or its smaller, smellier cousin, Dolphland Paris. In the track, Dolph suggests that Yo Gotti had dissed him on his 2 Federal mixtape, which was released by Yo Gotti and his CMG artist Moneybagg Yo. Dolph also reiterates on this track that Yo Gotti only got popular from initially dissing 3 6 Mafia after he was rumored to be signing with them. Very similar to the situation between Dolph and Gotti. Gotti took to the high road and decided to respond on Twitter, just reminding the people that he was on some boss shit with Jay-Z and L.A. Reid and that he wasn't going to stoop to this level. A week later, on February the 7th, Dolph was at an interview at an Atlanta radio station where he elaborated on the diss and suggested that this whole thing came from one of Dolph's guys suggesting that Dolph was being sneak dissed by Yo Gotti on that 2 Federal mixtape. He also suggests that Yo Gotti encouraged Black Youngster to beef with him in order to get Black Youngster's career popping, in much the same way that Yo Gotti got his name popping from beefing with 3 6 Mafia.
Second one come. We in the car now, blazing. He like, bro, you heard this? Such and such. You like, man, you ain't trying to this. He like, bro, really, bro, his last 2 tapes he put out, you like, I'm like, you ain't heard it? I'm like, no. He like, bro, you gotta keep, I'm like, I don't listen to it.
Right.
So he like, listen to it, play it. I said, oh. Know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
you
he
still
thought
going.
the coast was clear.
Right.
Know what I'm saying? Like it didn't make no noise.
Right.
You see,
I
it
didn't
ain't make no
know about
noise until Dolph just put this song out.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? He made his artist bring up Dolph's name and tie Dolph's name to his name, right? That's when everybody got, oh, him, such and such. Nobody never knew him. How did he get it first? How did Yo Gotti get pop and get some attention? Nobody heard of him to win till he did 3 6 Mafia.
2 days later, Dolph elaborated further and suggested on DJ Holiday's show that he believed Yo Gotti was sneak dissing him on his previous tapes, The Art of the Hustle and Cocaine Music 9.
Man, they play it. So his last 2 mixtapes, he trying to slick this Dolph.
Now, here's where the timeline gets a little bit messed up because a lot of people out there have reported that Yo Gotti responded to this Play With Your Bitch song with his own song called Don't Beef With Me. A lot of people have speculated that this was a sneak diss aimed at Dolph that came out after Dolph's diss. However, it seemed that this track was actually just a retitled version of the song Prayers, which was the last song on that Moneybagg Yo Gotti mixtape 2 Federal, which had actually come out at the end of 2016. Now, I'm not sure if this was some kind of internet troll or news outlet just looking to stoke the beef further and take an old song, retitle it and suggest that it's a new Yo Gotti diss, or whether it's just been lost in translation and this was the original sneak diss that young Dolph was really upset about. But if you go and listen to the song, it just seems like the same kind of generic diss and put downs that you would put on a song, just addressing all of your ops as opposed to anything specifically aimed at young Dolph. But regardless, Dolph kept it moving, and a little bit later that month, on February the 24th, he released the music video for Play With Your Bitch, which featured some pretty hilarious scenes, recreated conversations that him and Yo Gotti supposedly had, and he uses a Yo Gotti impersonator to appear on screen and basically cry about the fact that his baby mama is hanging out with young Dolph. It's some savagery. Also in the video, young Dolph gets one of the most comically bad massages I've ever seen. He recreates some pretty hilarious moments between him and a fictional Yo Gotti. Dolph also drinks from a laughably small bottle of lean. Basically, the bottom line is Dolph went in on Yo Gotti, and there's no way that you could imagine there wouldn't be a response to this. And boy howdy, doesn't seem like they were about any of that talking, because only 1 day after that music video dropped was the same day that young Dolph's convoy was shot up 100 times in North Carolina. This went down during the CIAA college ball tournament, where young Dolph was actually in the city of Charlotte, supposedly to perform at an unofficial after party at the Cameo nightclub. The official police statement says that around 6:30 p.m. on 600 block North Caldwell Street, several dozen rounds were fired from high-powered weapons at multiple vehicles, hitting them indiscriminately only 30 minutes before the final game of the CIAA tournament was scheduled to start at the Spectrum Center. Reports started coming out that Dolph was the target of this shooting, but luckily nobody was hurt because he was being driven in a $300,000 bulletproof GMC Yukon XL SUV. Nice. Charlotte Mecklenburg police said that they were exploring the possibility that people in the music industry were connected to the shooting. But interestingly, Dolph was not fazed by these 100 bullets, and he hit that stage as planned that night and made sure to perform his Yo Gotti diss track to send a message. And just 18 hours after the shooting, young Dolph tweeted, "You loose," with a laughing face. And I'm not sure whether this was his way of saying you lose, or he was just saying that the people tried to shoot him a straight loose. But either way, when somebody tries to shoot at you 100 times, it's safe to say that the block is kinda hot and you should probably keep it quiet for a while. A few weeks later, he appeared in an interview and again downplayed the shooting and refused to acknowledge Gotti's role in it.
Old news. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's old. What you talking about? I don't know what you talking about. It's entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Like, definitely, if It ain't nothing else, it's entertainment right now.
Then a few days after that, he was actually interviewed on TMZ, once again sidestepping questions actually about the shooting and the details of it, but once again reminding the interviewer that he was kind of glad that he'd spent $300K on that bulletproof SUV. Interestingly though, in that interview, he did still call out his #1 op, Yo Gotti. Black Youngster expressed his disappointment in Yo Gotti not responding to the beef.
I ain't gonna even lie to you. Like, I don't even like how Big Homie move. I really don't. Like, but how he moves, it got him back through his career and through his life. So I can't judge it. You know what I'm saying?
And at the end of that month, on the 31st of March, Young Dolph appears on The Breakfast Club and once again downplays that shooting and suggests that the people that did it were some amateurs.
Now you and Yo Gotti, man, why can't you and Gotti just come together and get this money? Ain't gonna never happen.
What you talking about?
You put out the record, you know, you talking about his baby mom and all that stuff.
Play with your bitch.
Oh, you talking about the hardest diss song ever dropped. That's what happened when you get whoever, anybody, like apparently they know what they were doing. And you shoot 100 times and ain't no nothing shake, no nothing, nobody hit no nothing. I need to find another hobby. I need to find something else to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like what y'all playing and portraying to be, whatever y'all trying to do, y'all ain't good at it.
And a day later, Young Dolph drops his new album, Bulletproof, with the first track being 100 Shots, where he addresses that whole situation that happened. He also added an extra dose of salt by making sure that he had named the track list perfectly so that the whole thing read as one big message to his ops.
I went through the whole track listing in the rumor report, 100 shots in Charlotte, but I'm bulletproof.
I was like, that don't even sound real.
And I was like, no, this is really the track listing.
But he did deny that doing this was baiting further attacks.
Do you feel like it's kind of inviting drama though? Like to name it Bulletproof is kind of like taunting, like on some
I don't even care. I don't even give a damn.
But Black Youngster was arrested in connection with this shooting a few months later in May. He was actually one of 3 men who surrendered to Charlotte police for his involvement in the shooting, eventually catching 6 counts of discharging a weapon into occupied property and felony conspiracy. Black Youngster addressed this whole situation on his mixtape and song, I'm Innocent, where he addresses the issue and actually suggests that Young Dolph was basically dry snitching and led the police to him on Bulletproof. However, in Youngster's defense, those charges were eventually dropped. But that beef was still simmering on a low heat and looking pretty medium rare. But in September 26, Dolph's ops managed to score a few points, and Dolph ended up getting shot outside of a hotel in Hollywood and ending up in the hospital. Reports say that Dolph's crew were outside of a Hollywood hotel where Yo Gotti was staying, where an altercation and fight ended up happening, where reportedly Dolph was floored in the fight and then somebody pulled a gun and shot him a few times. Dolph managed to get up and flee to a nearby store and eventually was taken to hospital. Initially, fake news surfaced that Yo Gotti was being investigated as a person of interest in this shooting, though this was eventually denied by the police department. But one of Yo Gotti's affiliates, Corey McClendon, was arrested on an attempted murder charge. But not long after this, Gotti appeared on The Breakfast Club denying his involvement and showing off some of the early texts between him and Young Dolph. And eventually, Corey McClendon was released from that attempted murder charge. 2 months later, in November 2017, Dolph appeared on The Breakfast Club once again, reaffirming that the beef was over, but continuing to drop a little bit of shade on Yo Gotti. Unfortunately, I ended that video with a quote explaining that for now, the beef between Yo Gotti and Young Dolph had died down, as both Dolph and Yo Gotti, at the time being, had focused on their music careers rather than the beef in the streets. However, unfortunately, only 2 years after recording that video, I would wake up to see the tragic news of Young Dolph's murder in 2021. But when I made my original video, it would turn out that there was a lot more going on behind the scenes that may well have contributed to the murder of Dolph, as well as the rap beef between Yo Gotti, Young Dolph, and their respective CMG and PRE crews. It would turn out that there would also be another deadly war going on in the streets of Memphis, between 2 crews known as Trula Mafia and Double R, which may well provide deeper clues as to exactly why Young Dolph was targeted in such a brutal assassination. The real story behind the music begins about 10 years ago, when Young Dolph was affiliated with a young street rapper called J Money. J Money would post pictures of Dolph visiting his hood and saying that Dolph always told him that he wanted to see him win and eat, along with posts calling Dolph's crew Paper Route Empire his family. J Money was part of a gang called Trula Mafia, from the Orange Mound neighborhood in southeastern Memphis, which borders the Castilla Heights neighborhood where Young Dolph grew up. J Money was a respected member of the Trula Mafia and was active in the streets from a young age. At just age 18, J Money was charged with the murder of another young man who was supposedly his good friend. But even that situation would seemingly not slow him down, And already later that year, J Money was again in trouble with the law, this time due to an aggravated assault charge. Aside from his presence in the streets, J Money was set to become a big name in the Memphis rap scene. He had a particularly close relationship with the Chicago drill legend Chief Keef and his Glow Gang group, with Chief Keef shouting out his True La Mafia shooters in Memphis on his track, Shooters, with the two appearing in pictures together on social media surrounded by Chief Keef's Glow Gang crew. Another Memphis rapper that blew up from the city, NLE Chopper, would also reminisce on J Money's relationship with Chief Keef.
He messed with Memphis heavy. He messed with a guy from Memphis. A lot of people probably don't know him, J Money Truly. J Money, he was, you know what I'm saying, a big idol in Memphis.
And Chief Keef himself would also reminisce on J Money's wild reputation in the streets.
Hey, though, I was on the phone with Money one day, right? On FaceTime, his slow ass folks, he outside the window on the E-way. I'll tell him for you fried, shorty. Y'all he on the E-way. No. You was in the car with him? Like, oh, y'all hoes, boy. Hold up.
The relationship between Chief Keef's Glow Gang and J Money's True La Mafia went deeper than the surface. In fact, at one point, J Money was even calling his set the Glow Gang Truler. J Money would also score an early feature with another legendary Memphis rapper by the name of Moneybagg Yo, as well as having also recorded music together with Young Dolph himself, and being seen behind the scenes with Dolph in the hood for the music video.
What you say?
But interestingly, J Money was also seemingly cool with the CMG side of the rap beef in Memphis too, apparently hanging around with people like Black Youngster far before the beef between Dolph and Yo Gotti's crew had truly erupted. J Money was one of those people with such a respected reputation in the streets that he could seemingly walk the line between both sides of a serious brewing beef. However, that notoriety in the streets would also make him a target of his ops, and sadly, in 2016, J Money would be shot dead in an apparent gang-related revenge killing. J Money was a high-ranking and respected member in True La Mafia, who had deep connections with many different gangs in Memphis. His murder would allegedly cause a major power vacuum within True La Mafia, leading to internal conflicts and eventually a full divide between two factions in the gang, with some of the original True La Mafia members breaking off to start their own set titled Double R, meaning Rich and Ruthless, with many of these members allegedly also having ties to the Grape Street Crips. In fact, another legendary Memphis artist, Pooh Shiesty's cousin Big Scar, real name Alexander Woods, would be one of the former True La Mafia members who was also affiliated with the Grape Street Crips, and he would eventually leave the original True La Mafia to join Double R. Things would further escalate between both camps when Double R member BG, aka Baby Grape, was allegedly killed by 3 True La Mafia members, C-Mode, Zay, and Go Crazy. Go Crazy, real name Carlos Lacey, would eventually go down for this murder. The deceased man, BG, was actually a close friend of Big Scar, and this incident would allegedly be the catalyst sparking a war between both groups in the streets of Memphis. Shortly after, Double R would retaliate, killing Zay, one of the original True La Mafia members suspected of being involved in the hit. Following this, True La Mafia and Double R would go back and forth numerous times. C-Mode would return home from jail after a separate case, sending shots at Double R in a song called Send a Hit, which made himself an even bigger target, with him even naming himself as the main op. But his run as a rapper would be short-lived, and he would eventually be charged with 7 counts of attempted murder after shooting up a house twice.
People at this home on Myers put up this camera after someone shot at or near their home twice in the same week. Other people who live in this neighborhood say they feel like hostages in their own home because of the random gunfire.
That's one thing. We got the cameras and the good Lord to watch over us, so.
This man who didn't want to be identified says last week someone shot at his home, shattering the glass in this door. His wife and 3 kids, ages 5 to 17, were inside.
Go back to bed, see what's going on, make sure the kids are all right, make sure everything's okay.
He says the same people returned a week later when his kids were alone. Fortunately, no one was hurt.
Police came, they found like 5 shells over there on the side of the street that time. And then the second time, there was shells everywhere.
Police say the victims were able to identify 19-year-old Byron Walker as the shooter. He's now facing 7 counts of attempted first-degree murder.
The young guy that got arrested, I don't know him. I heard of him, but I don't know him.
1 in 8 people have worked at a McDonald's.
Hi, welcome to McDonald's.
That's a lot of people who know things like teamwork, people skills, and surprising moments. Our experiences you'll always have.
Police say the drive-by shootings are connected to the murder of a rival gang member, and Walker is a suspect in that case. Court records show Walker has been arrested 3 other times since October for armed robbery and the theft of vehicles and weapons. 2 of the cases, though, have been dismissed.
Give him a slap on the wrist and let him right back out.
He's hoping that doesn't happen this time and says something has to be done to stop the crime.
They need some wake-up calls. To tell you the truth, I think these young folks out here need some wake-up calls.
In Southeast Memphis, Melissa Moon, WREG, News Channel 3.
Meanwhile, D-Money, the brother of J-Money, would also be shot dead in May 2020, causing yet more friction between these warring groups. After D-Money's murder, rumours would spread that he was allegedly killed by the artist named Big Unk, formerly known as Uncle Danny. Big Unk is allegedly affiliated with the Double R crew as well as Yo Gotti's CMG crew. He was a prominent street rapper from Memphis, known for showing off serious weapons in his music video. For example, seen here surrounded by goons and a whole lot of heavy weapons for the terrifying music video for a track called Play Dead, as well as a collaboration with Big Scar called Go Monkey, where him and his goons show off an arsenal of weapons looking like something straight out of Call of Duty. After D-Money's death and the rumours that he was involved, Big Unk, real name Daniel Banks, would simply post 3 laughing emojis on his Facebook, as well as reposting a cryptic message about some things being better left unsaid, along with a shushing emoji. Later that year, CEO Jizzle, another allegedly Double R affiliated rapper, would rap on his song Rich and Ruthless. If you diss 23, swear to God, it's gonna be RIP. You ain't hear what happened to last dude, he got left on Trig Street. This was seemingly a diss aimed towards D-Money, who had dissed a dead Double R member called 23 just a few months before he was killed. In fact, just a few days after dissing 23, D-Money would post a text message on Facebook that he had apparently received, where someone seemingly threatens to kill D-Money in his car, swearing to do it on Grape. Now, this is where Young Dolph enters the picture. Young Dolph would actually sign Double R members Big Unk to his Paper Route Empire label, despite his former connection to Yo Gotti's CMG. And in signing Big Unk, Young Dolph had inadvertently picked sides in this separate beef that had brewed between True La Mafia and Double R. And this would cause True La Mafia to side with Yo Gotti's CMG group, and Big Unk's Double R crew to side with the Paper Route Empire of Young Dolph. Now, some fans would criticize Young Dolph at this time, since he had been so close to J Money back in the day, with many being confused as to why he had chosen to sign the man who had allegedly murdered his brother. But regardless of the reasons, apparently when Young Dolph chose to sign Big Unk, he effectively made himself a prime target for True La Mafia, with Big Unk's street ties essentially bringing a younger generation of Memphis gang members to the forefront of this industry feud that had been going on between Young Dolph and PRE and Yo Gotti and his CMG label. And so, it would seemingly turn out that this street feud and its connections to the complicated web of relationships in the music industry would ultimately cost Young Dolph his life. On November the 17th, 2021, Young Dolph would visit the Makeda's Cookies bakery located near the Memphis International Airport, driving there in his camouflage-wrapped Corvette. Young Dolph was known to frequent this bakery and would often share his visits on social media. The store itself would even ask Dolph for a promo after his many visits, with Dolph sharing his public approval for this particular cookie spot.
Say you came to get some what? All I came to get some Makeda cookies. Get the sign. Get the sign. Come back around there. Come back around there. Yes, these right here. What you got? Chocolate chip. Don't hot. Straight out the just for you. Appreciate you, baby. Be safe.
In fact, Facebook users would later comment their disapproval of Makeda's Cookies sharing this, suggesting that letting the world know that Dolph frequented this bakery may well have been a fatal mistake, which contributed to his murder. On his way to Makeda's Cookies, Young Dolph would actually stop at a gas station where his final moments would be captured by a fan, and potentially giving away his location. At approximately 12:20 PM, 2 masked men would pull up to Makeda's in a white Mercedes, almost immediately following Young Dolph, who had parked and entered the store only moments earlier. In the security camera footage that the police would later share stills of to the media, the shooters can actually be seen running past Young Dolph's Corvette, armed with automatic rifles, which they then fired indiscriminately into the bakery, hitting Dolph 22 times. And unlike the various attempts on Young Dolph's life in years prior, sadly, this one would indeed prove fatal, with the autopsy report showing that Dolph had suffered deadly gunshot wounds to his head, torso, and neck. And a shocking video of Young Dolph laying on the ground after the assassination would circulate on social media, but is far too graphic to show you here on YouTube.
Oh my God, y'all. They say Dolph dead, y'all. They say Dolph dead. Right up here on Airways and Kitchen. I'm talking about I was just standing out here just seeing this. You talking about back up now. Damn. Ooh wee. I never seen no like this. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. They say this Dolph. They say this Dolph. They say this Dolph.
After the murder, Makeda's Cookies would decide not to reopen, and the storefront would turn into a memorial for young Dolph.
Whether it's a spray paint bottle or staple gun in hand, Jeremiah Taylor is a man on a mission each day at this memorial honoring slain Memphis rapper Young Dolph on Airways Boulevard.
He was a legend, he was a king, so he still deserves to be treated as such.
For Taylor, the persistence is personal. He, like Dolph, grew up in the Castalia Heights neighborhood, went to Hamilton High, and met the rapper several times.
It was very hard. It started off as me trying to get myself out of a rut. This really put me in a bad situation mentally or whatever. And so just for my mental health, it started out, all right, let me get to doing something positive.
So starting about 3 days after Dolph's death, inside Makeda's Cookies, outside the store, Taylor, along with local activist Frank Gotti, make daily trips to organize, beautify, and freshen up this growing tribute.
Unfortunately, the store itself would quickly become a hotspot for violence in the aftermath of Dolph's murder. Shots would be fired on camera at the memorial only a day after the murder. And even the man who looked after the memorial would end up being shot dead soon after. Fans online would create other kinds of tributes like collages of all the times that Dolph gave back to his supporters and the people of Memphis. Meanwhile, Dolph's murder would spark numerous rumors of the involvement of Dolph's music industry ops, and speculation would swirl, predicting retaliation attacks against people like the relatives of Yo Gotti and Black Youngster. Now, these rumors would initially turn out to be false, but while fan speculation about who might have been involved played out online, a few days later, the police would make progress in the formal investigation, locating the white Mercedes that had been used in the murder in the Orange Mound neighborhood in South Memphis. And only a few days after that, a man was actually murdered near the very location where the car used in the murder of Dolph was found. The Memphis police also soon found out that the white Mercedes had been used in another deadly shooting not long before Dolph's murder. As this information trickled out to the public, fascinated fans and internet sleuths would continue to speculate on exactly who was responsible for the killing of Dolph. About a month after Dolph's murder, the police would begin to move in on the alleged perpetrators. A man named Cornelius Smith was arrested in December 2021, but the news of the arrest wouldn't break out until January 2022, when he was indicted on the murder of Dolph, amongst other related charges. In the same indictment, also named Justin Johnson, better known in Memphis as the rapper Straight Drop. Johnson was arrested on January the 11th, 2022 in Indiana as a suspect in Dolph's murder. But just a few days before his arrest, Straight Drop had actually posted on social media that he would be turning himself in on the 10th. But instead of turning himself in, he would end up putting out a new song called Trackhawk. The lyrics are ambiguous, including numerous highly questionable bars that seemingly hinted at his involvement in a recent murder. Moreover, before that, on the 22nd of November 2021, only a few days after Young Dolph's murder, Straight Drop had actually dropped a music video for a song titled Stepped On, where he could actually be seen wearing a pendant of Young Dolph's PRE Paper Route Empire label hanging from his belt, with some suggesting that this may have been a disrespectful nod, suggesting that Young Dolph may have been some sort of notch in his belt. In the same video, Straight Drop can actually be seen with a man named Joshua Taylor. And in February 2022, the police would announce two more persons of interest in the case, Divine Burns and Taylor, who was also known as CEO Teasy.
First at 5, the Memphis Police Department announced today 2 new men have been named persons of interest in the Young Dolph murder case. The first is Devin Burns. Burns has an active warrant out for aggravated assault and theft, which are unrelated to this case. The other man is Joshua Taylor. Memphis police are looking for both of these men and offering a $2,000 reward for each arrest.
At least 3 of the 4 people mentioned, Johnson, Burns, and Taylor, have a strong connection to True La Mafia and can be seen following members publicly on their Instagrams, as well as wearing free Straight Drop shirts on social media and in music videos. CEO Teasy had even been seen in pictures on J Money's original Instagram account, with all of these members seemingly appearing together in numerous pictures and music videos. However, strangely, before the murder, Straight Drop himself had also been pictured around Young Dolph. But this was seemingly before True La Mafia had split into two, with Double R taking Dolph's PRE side and the True La Mafia members remaining taking sides with CMG. Now, there's been intense debate as to whether Straight Drop himself had officially been affiliated with Yo Gotti's CMG label before Dolph's murder. Now, he wasn't tagged in a post by Yo Gotti's brother Big Jerk, which named everybody on the label, but he was being followed by Jerk on Instagram. However, Straight Drop may well have truly crossed the line in self-incrimination after it would emerge that he had actually recorded a music video in front of evidence used in the murder case, with the white Mercedes that was seen in CCTV from Dolph's murder being seen parked outside the abandoned home on Bradley Street just days after Dolph's murder. And shockingly, in a now deleted music video that Straight Drop released called Going Straight In, the backdrop for that music video would indeed be the exact same house where that getaway vehicle was found at, and that same house where somebody was killed soon after the murder of Dolph. The video was posted on November the 21st, 2021, only a few days after young Dolph's murder.
The car was found outside this abandoned home on Bradley Street days after the killing in late November. It's the same home seen here in this music video featuring young Dolph's accused killer, Justin Johnson, also known as Straight Drop.
And additionally, in August 2022, the police would also indict a man named Treon Ingram for the deadly shooting which preceded Dolph's murder that was also connected to that white Mercedes.
Meanwhile, a county away, developments in another case that has a connection to young Dolph's murder. A grand jury in Tipton County indicted one of two suspects police say is responsible for a November 12, 2021 shooting of two women in Covington. Investigators say they found Treon Ingram with the weapon connected to the shooting. They say a white Mercedes used in the shooting in Covington is the same car used in young Dolph's death. We learned early on a lot of people were in the car between the time it was carjacked last November from a gas station on Kirby Parkway to the November 12th Covington shooting and the November 17th shooting of young Dolph.
Later in 2022, Hernandez Govan was arrested on November the 10th. Govan was the first to also be charged with conspiracy to commit Dolph's murder. Soon after this, Jamarcus Johnson, brother of Justin Johnson, also turned himself in and was charged with the conspiracy to kill young Dolph.
Whitakus is being charged with conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and although more charges may be coming, MPD says Johnson is from Memphis. We checked the system, and under the spelling of the name used in his booking, we found only one previous charge linked to that name. It's a misdemeanor marijuana possession charge that was later dismissed. This fourth suspect has the same last name as another suspect in this case, Jermaine Johnson, also known as Straight Drop, but MPD would not confirm if they are related.
The indictment against the four, Smith, Straight Drop, and his brother, as well as Govan, would specify their roles in the murder conspiracy, with Govan allegedly being the one who solicited Straight Drop and Smith to shoot Dolph, with Straight Drop's brother helping him to hide and escape after the murder. According to news outlets, Govan and all the shooters actually lived close to each other in the same neighborhood where that white Mercedes was found.
Court records show 43-year-old Hernandez Govan, who was just indicted in the rap star slaying, along with Johnson and Cornelius Smith, once lived just a few houses down. Neighbors fearing for their lives told us off camera he grew up on the street. A possible connection linking the suspects, as District Attorney Steve Mulroy says Govan asked for young Dolph to be murdered.
And interestingly, in the indictment, the beginning date of the conspiracy to murder Dolph is marked as June the 1st, 2021, months before the actual murder. Interestingly, as some Reddit detectives have pointed out, only a few days before, Dolph would actually post on his Instagram account welcoming Big Unk, who had allegedly killed D Money from Trula Mafia, to his Paper Route Empire label, with Reddit users suggesting that perhaps the conspiracy to murder young Dolph had been set into motion as soon as Dolph had publicly endorsed Big Unk. Meanwhile, being locked up didn't seem to stop Straight Drop from dropping more music, and on the one-year anniversary of Dolph's death, he released the jail phone recorded song No Statements. But despite the title of the song being No Statements, Paper Route Empire artists would respond to a news outlet about the song, suggesting that someone indeed was giving statements based on the number of arrests that had been happening. The news would also report that the third man arrested in connection to Dolph's murder, Hernandez Govan, is actually the father of a free male rapper who went by the name Lottakash Desto. Lottakash Desto was tragically killed in September 2022, raising questions about whether or not this murder might have been connected to the murder of young Dolph too.
Govan's daughter, she was also a rapper, but she was killed in Houston in September.
Yes, she went by Lottakash Desto, but her real name, Destiny Govan. Houston police say the 25-year-old was shot and killed in Houston September 24th, early that morning. Investigators say Govan and her friend were in their vehicle, stopped behind a vehicle at a traffic light. Police say two men got out of the vehicle and started shooting at the women. We're told the passenger was also shot but survived her injuries. Christian Williams was charged with her murder. About a month after the murder, Hernandez Govan posted on Facebook, "I think I cursed you, Destiny, with my lifestyle."
I apologize, baby. As we reported earlier, Govan has dozens of criminal charges in his past, ranging from drug possession to aggravated assault.
It would seem that based on social media posts, that Desto was, or at least had been, indeed in some ways associated with the Trula Mafia, and even had a song together with J Money himself all the way back in 2015. Now, Desto's alleged killers, Jeremiah Smith and Christian Williams, were arrested and charged in early 2023, but their possible connection to the events in Memphis is still unclear. However, according to the internet, her death may well have been a completely unrelated incident that rather had to do with her own actions in Houston, where she was living at the time, rather than Dolph. But regardless, the bloody retaliations following the murder of young Dolph were far from over. In June 2023, one of the persons of interest who was not charged in relation to Dolph's murder, Joshua Taylor, aka CEO Teasy, was suddenly also shot and killed. Reddit detectives had noted how Dolph's friends had been driving around the Orange Mound neighborhood where Teasy was killed not long before the shooting.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't none of those late night, middle of the daytime.
Stamp that.
Who ain't spending? Talking about one ain't nothing to spend on. Talking about ain't no doubt.
Nickelodeon was kid everything, but that marked one of the darkest chapters. These are 3 predators who worked at Nickelodeon.
It made me wonder who was being hurt.
Have you ever told your story publicly before?
Quiet on Set, an ID true crime event, Sunday, March 17th at 9 on ID.
You better not! This is how a lot of people with type 2 end up getting infections, or even worse. It's been reported that these people often see small cracks or wounds on their feet. Now, never wear your outdoor shoes in the house, and never wear tight socks that leave a ring mark around your ankle or calf area. That's because tiny skin tears or wounds on the feet can go unnoticed due to all the numbing nerve pains. And about 90% of the infectious bacteria from your shoes can be carried into your home, your floors, your couch, and beds. From there, they can invade those tiny cracks on your feet and easily eat their way into your bones and your bloodstream, breeding and multiplying every few seconds, leading to dangerous foot infections that may never heal. Now remember, your shoes are in constant contact with bacteria from public restrooms, animal feces, parasites, fungus, and other infectious microorganisms, and it could be impossible for the body to fight it off, since type 2 and high sugar levels reduce our immune response and our ability to clear away fungal infections. Now, if left untreated, these infections can lead to ulcers and gangrene, where the skin and the tendons and the muscles in the feet will start rotting away. At that point, if the foot isn't removed immediately, the infection can spread throughout the body, and that's why this last resort procedure is done, because sadly the
Put this on buns, on guns, on the head. Stupid. This I know luck and I didn't hit the lotto.
Meanwhile, both Cornelia Smith and Justin Johnson, aka Straight Drop, are set to go on trial in March 2024 after pleading not guilty to all charges. Fans have also noted that Straight Drop allegedly hired a lawyer that has connections to Yo Gotti's crew CMG, raising yet more rumors that Trula Mafia and CMG might have both been involved together in Young Dolph's murder. Govan, on the other hand, was released on bond in May 2023, apparently due to medical reasons, while Straight Drop's brother, Jamarcus Johnson, actually accepted a plea deal admitting to guilt on accessory to murder charges in June 2023.
One of the 4 men charged in the murder of Memphis rapper Young Dolph became the first to take a plea in his case after Jamarcus Johnson pleaded guilty to 3 conspiracy charges this morning.
Action News 5's Sydney Gray was in the courtroom for that announcement. She has more from Johnson's attorney and state prosecutors.
A range 1 offender. You understand that?
Jamarcus Johnson could spend the next 6 years in prison for his admitted involvement in the murder of Memphis rapper Young Dolph. Friday, he pleaded guilty to 3 counts of conspiracy after the fact.
With regard to Jamarcus Johnson, as we announced in court, he had no role in the murder of Dolph before it happened. He had no role in the murder of Dolph when it happened.
But prosecutors say he conspired after the fact by helping his half-brother, Justin Johnson, one of the accused shooters.
We had a conference call with the family yesterday. They understand what this is about. and they're encouraged by the progress in litigation, and ultimately one day they want to see a trial of this thing, and they know this is a step toward that.
Prosecutors say Jamarcus used Justin's cell phone for two purposes: to deceive Justin's parole officer into believing he was still in Memphis, and to communicate with Cornelia Smith, another accused